Are you sure that the last big decision you made was really yours? Or did someone plant that idea in your head without you even noticing? It might sound like an exaggeration, but what you're about to discover will make you rethink a lot of things. There's a silent game happening all around us, a cold, calculated, and extremely well-planned game. And the worst part? Most people don't even know they're playing it. It's a game of psychological manipulation, where emotions, fears, and desires are used against you. And those who understand the rules can control everything, including you. Machiavelli, a thinker from the 16th century, talked about this long ago. And if he were alive today, he would surely be applauding the system that has been created, because in today's world, force is no longer needed to dominate. Now everything is done through subtle, invisible, and Machiavellian control. And you need to wake up before it's too late. Before we go on, take a quick second to check, is your notification bell turned on? That way, whenever a new video drops with these kinds of alerts that almost no one talks about, you'll be the first to know. The game of manipulation is played every day, and contrary to what many people think, it doesn't only happen in politics. It's in commercials, on social media, in leaders' speeches, in business decisions, and even in the conversations that go viral. Without realizing it, you are pushed toward paths you didn't choose, but believe you did. And our role in this game? It's to be a pawn. Machiavelli, the Italian thinker of the 16th century, wrote that those who seek power must learn to control not just people's actions, but especially what they believe to be true. Today, this is done even more efficiently. No swords, no crowns, just carefully chosen words, emotionally crafted images, and narratives so engaging you don't even think to question them. First, they create imaginary enemies. It could be a group, an idea, a behavior, or even a person. The intention is to divide, to create a us versus them mindset. Because while people fight among themselves, no one pays attention to who is actually profiting from the chaos. Machiavelli said that keeping people in conflict is an effective form of control, and the modern world has turned this into an art form. Then they reinforce bubbles. The algorithm only shows you what confirms what you already believe. This gives a sense of security, but also traps you in an echo chamber. You begin to believe there is only one truth, yours, and everything else becomes a threat. That feeling of always being right isn't natural, it's planned. And that's why I always ask you to like the videos on this channel, because you'll be bombarded with content like this that will help you open your eyes and never let anyone manipulate you again. Content that no one wants you to know, and you'll only find it here. Emotions, they are the heart of the game. They spread panic, constant problems, a sense of urgency. You're not doing enough. You're falling behind. This product will change your life. This idea will set you free. Machiavelli said that a smart ruler must appear virtuous. He doesn't actually need to be, just needs to fake it well. Machiavelli would be impressed, not by the use of manipulation, he already talked about it, but by the way it's done today with surgical precision and with the complete illusion that you are free. He once said a powerful phrase, "People let themselves be deceived easily, but they hate being deceived." And that's exactly where the trap is. People would rather believe they are in control, even when everything shows otherwise, because realizing you've been manipulated hurts the ego. And it's easier to go with the flow than to question everything. But once you start seeing the game, the pieces change. You realize that behind every pretty speech, every emotional campaign, every cause that seems urgent, there's someone benefiting, and almost always that someone isn't you. Either you understand the rules or you remain just another disposable pawn, because the game doesn't stop. And every second you don't realize this, someone manipulates, profits, and wins. Why don't you notice? Because the game is psychological. It doesn't scream, it whispers. Modern manipulation doesn't happen through violence or visible threats. It happens with soft, repeated suggestions disguised as good ideas. You're led to believe you have control, that you're making your own choices. But everything was calculated before you even realized. It's like being inside a mall where every exit leads back to the stores. You can walk wherever you want, but only within the path someone else laid out for you. Machiavelli, in the 16th century, already explained how true power lies in appearing not to dominate anyone. He said, "The best way to control the people is to make them believe they are in control." And that's exactly what happens today. You go on social media thinking you'll see what you want, but the algorithm has already selected what will keep you hooked, angry, emotional, or buying. You think you chose what to consume, but you are guided there by an invisible, intelligent, and extremely Machiavellian system. Worse, when someone tries to warn you, your first reaction is to defend the system, because the game also messes with your ego. And now, after hearing all this, tell me honestly, what was the last choice you made thinking it was yours, but now you start to doubt it? Comment here, maybe you weren't the only one. Machiavelli taught that human vanity is a powerful tool. If they make you believe you are informed, intelligent, and in control, you will defend even your own prison, because admitting you were manipulated hurts your pride. And that's when the system holds you with its most effective weapon, the illusion of freedom. You don't. Notice, because manipulation doesn't come from outside, it installs itself inside you. It shapes your worldview, your fears, your priorities, your way of interpreting reality. You begin to filter everything based on emotions someone triggered on purpose. Look, when you buy something on impulse, it's not just marketing, it's emotional programming. When you feel anger toward an entire group of people, you might not even know the real reason. You just repeated the speech you saw multiple times. When you defend an idea without researching it, it's because the narrative was built for you to feel like you already knew. Machiavelli knew this. That's why he argued that a leader didn't need to be just, only appear just. Appearance was more important than essence, because people judge with their eyes and feelings, not with reason. And today, those who understand this rule the game. You are bombarded every day with emotionally strategic content. Reels, posts, headlines, videos, ads, all calibrated to trigger responses in your brain: fear, urgency, anger, pleasure. While you react, someone profits. While you blindly defend a truth, someone manipulates. While you're distracted, someone makes progress. The manipulation is so effective that even when you think you're awake, you're still asleep. It's as if the world has become a giant board game, and every move you make is predictable because it was taught, programmed, trained. You go to work because they said success depends on it. You buy certain clothes because they said it defines your value. You support a cause because they said that's what it means to be a good person. But did these ideas really come from you? Or were they planted like seeds, watered daily with stimuli until they felt like your own? Machiavelli, if he were alive today, wouldn't need crowns or armies. Just a marketing agency, a YouTube channel, and access to a human behavior database. Because today, the greatest power doesn't lie with who commands. It lies with who convinces. And whoever understands. That shapes the world. Manipulation is like a tasteless poison. You only realize it after it has taken effect. But there's a simple and powerful way to find out if you're being manipulated right now. Just ask 3 questions. Who benefits from what I believe? Everything you defend, share, repeat, or consume benefits someone, always. The question is, who is gaining from it? Machiavelli said that appearances are everything. and many manipulators seem harmless. But if you follow the trail of who profits from your beliefs, you begin to see the real game board. Did I really think of this on my own? Many of the ideas you have were implanted subtly, repetitively, emotionally. You think you formed an opinion, but maybe you're just repeating what you've seen 1,000 times. Did you choose that product, that political side, that cause, or were you just led there without realizing it? Machiavelli understood this deeply. He said the people don't need to know the truth. They just need to believe they reached it on their own. What am I not seeing? Every narrative hides a side. If you only hear one version, only consume one type of content. Only surround yourself with people who think like you. Then you're in a bubble. But there are bubbles that won't add anything to your life. Bubbles that only aim to manipulate you to get what they want. Bubbles like politics, digital influencers, TV channels, gambling. But if you filter your bubbles well, you can benefit from many things that will truly add value to your life. Here you'll understand everything about Machiavellian manipulation and learn how to protect yourself from these manipulators. So subscribe to the channel and enjoy this valuable content that is really worth consuming. I'll leave a link to a playlist with more content like this for you to explore and understand the teachings about manipulation that Niccolo Machiavelli left us. And bubbles are not free, they are disguised cages. Machiavelli said that he who controls the information controls the people. If you don't question the absence of certain data, certain voices, certain points of view, then you've already been defeated without even realizing it. These questions aren't comfortable, but they are necessary. And if you've never asked yourself any of them, maybe you're not even thinking for yourself. Maybe you're just reacting like a piece in a bigger game, the Machiavellian game. You wake up, consume content, make decisions, share opinions, vote, shop, take positions. But did all this really come from you? Or is it, as Machiavelli taught, that someone is guiding your freedom so subtly that you don't even feel it? The manipulator doesn't need to force you. He just needs to give you the feeling that the idea was yours. And this happens all the time when you fear what you don't even know, when you hate someone who never harmed you, when you defend something you never investigated, when you believe you're choosing, but you're just reacting to what was strategically placed in front of you. And don't think this only happens to others. We're all vulnerable, even the smartest among us. In fact, the most confident are usually the easiest targets because they think they're in control. The way out isn't to wake up all at once. It's to start doubting a little more every day. Doubt the narrative, the influencer, the ad, the trend, the headline, the bubble. The first defense against manipulation is a vigilant mind, and that starts with a simple yet powerful attitude. Question everything, even what seems too obvious, especially what seems too right. If an idea is presented as unquestionable, be suspicious. If an opinion is reinforced by everyone around you, investigate. If something causes you a very intense emotion, fear, anger, guilt, hope, stop and think, who is benefiting from this? Machiavelli warned us about the power of illusion. He understood that most people prefer a comfortable lie over an uncomfortable truth. And that's why modern manipulation is so effective. It disguises itself as truth, and more than that, it disguises itself as your own opinion. To protect yourself, you need to study how manipulation works. That doesn't mean becoming a manipulator. On the contrary, studying Machiavelli is not to learn how to dominate others. It's to learn how not to be dominated. It's using knowledge as a shield, not as a weapon. Machiavelli, if he were alive today, might not use swords or crowns. He'd use algorithms, social networks, and headlines, and he would probably say that the new prince is not a king, but whoever controls the information. Therefore, study Machiavelli with critical eyes. Read The Prince as if you were reading a defense manual. understand what he meant when he said, "The ends justify the means," and why that phrase is still used by so many leaders, disguised as strategy. Another powerful way to protect yourself is to listen to the other side. Yes, the side you don't agree with. The discomfort we feel when hearing opposing opinions is, in fact, a signal. There's something there you haven't fully understood. Discomfort is growth in disguise. Living in a bubble of certainties is comfortable, but dangerous, because inside the bubble, everything seems right. And when everything seems right, you stop questioning. And when you stop questioning, you start being manipulated. You need to exercise independent thinking, and that means that sometimes you'll contradict yourself. You'll change your mind. You'll realize you defended the wrong things. And that's okay. That's called evolution. Manipulation feeds on your passivity, but it loses power when you start paying attention. When you start asking, why? The most powerful question in the world is, who is gaining from this? Whenever you watch a news report, consume content, buy something impulsively, or repeat an idea, stop and reflect. Did this come from me, or was it planted? Machiavelli knew that power doesn't need to be imposed by force. It can be given willingly by those who believe they are making their own choices. And that's exactly what today's manipulators want for you to hand over your power without noticing. But now you know, and knowing is the first step to protecting yourself. If you don't understand the game, you're just a piece, and the scariest part is that millions of people live like this every day, thinking they're making free choices, when in reality, they're just following invisible orders. It's as if life were a giant board game. And on this board there are kings, queens, rooks, but most of us are being used as pawns. Sacrificial pawns, manipulable, controlled not by visible chains, but by carefully crafted narratives. Machiavelli, more than 500 years ago, already understood all of this. He wasn't a villain. He merely described how power works. He revealed that those who want to maintain control don't need brute force. They just need to control fear, hope, and perception. And that's exactly what's happening today. You believe you choose what to consume, what to think, what to feel. But if you look deeper, you'll see that your choices were limited before you even thought about deciding. How many ideas you fiercely defend were truly thought by you? How many times have you clicked, shared, or commented on something that only reinforced an emotion already inside you? That's no coincidence. It's emotional engineering. It's the new name of modern manipulation. Machiavelli would proudly write about the mechanisms used today by companies, politicians, influencers, and platforms to keep you distracted, divided, and obedient. The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. It knows what angers you, what excites you, what gives you pleasure. And it uses that against you, or rather, against your freedom. But the good news is, you can leave this game, but only if you first understand the rules. Question everything, even what you believe is too right. Try to understand the other side. Read those who disagree with you. Study Machiavelli, not to become a manipulator, but to stop being manipulated. Because while you ignore this game, someone is winning at your expense. And that victory isn't fair. It's built on your distraction. If this content woke you up, leave a like, hit the bell, and subscribe to the channel. But not because someone told you to. Do it because you decided to, because now you're starting to see the board. Share this video with someone who's still playing without knowing. Let's open more eyes. And remember, Machiavelli never manipulated you, but someone is doing it right now. And only you can decide if you'll keep being a piece or finally understand the game.